at the legs. How do the legs look?
They look pretty good. I like the chest. I think she's got a great width there. Some
Yep.
horses,
Are real narrow.
Real narrow, and she's just got a really nice.
I think the knees and the hocks are a good size for her body. And I think the length of the leg is nice for her body. You often see big-bodied horses with short legs, sort of like me. You know, it's like gonna be. I want to look like you in my next life.
Now, should we turn her a little?
Yeah,
now?
let's turn her this way and walk
Maybe
down
walk her
here
a
so
little
everybody can see a little bit, and stand her back up. Now, the other thing, make sure you look at the feet. And I have to tell you that front feet, 100%, but you want to make sure the horse has enough foot to support their size. And you want to really pay attention if you see a dishy foot, or if you see something that looks a little bit of a club foot. My opinion is don't buy a problem. You know, if you've raised it and bred it, well, then you do what you need to do. But by experience, I can tell you that can be a problem later on. And if you look at this horse, kind of how I decide, if I look at this horse, if I'm going to give it a 10 on general impression, I would look at this horse and I would say, would I spend the next 5 years training this horse to Grand Prix? And I would say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't see, nothing rings alarm bells to me. There's little details. So after we look at the horse, and we may sometimes, as a breeding judge, say, oh, that shoulder, like I said, you see how her croup falls off. This is a little bit steep, this angle. I'd like this angle to come more out here. So this is a little steep. So, I mean, if I'm really picky, that. But if I see her move, and I see that doesn't affect the way she moves at all, then I'll go higher on my confirmation score. If, when I see something like this, it does affect how she moves, then I'll go down. Okay? But I think she's lovely. I would take her. Right? Would you all take her home?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so tomorrow just warm up, and then we'll have Debbie gets to work, and I'm going to drink coffee. All right, let's have yours, Carrie. And let's start a little bit this way for the camera first. Okay, she's a girl. I don't want to insult this one, too. Now, this one, if we were looking at breeding stock, not just riding stock, then you have to take into account a little bit the femininity or the masculinity if it's a stallion. And if I looked at this horse from across the room, I wouldn't know she was a mare. But that being said, this kind of mare is often a better mother type than that type.
I agree.
You agree?
Totally agree.
Yeah. So, you know, she's the good, sturdy German mama type.
She can carry big babies.
Yeah. She has room for many babies.
She says, I really don't want to stand square.
I know. So a little bit with her neck, I would like it to be a little bit longer on top. Can you see if she'll hold her head up just a little? I know, she's exhausted. But if you all, when we turn her sideways, you'll see this one has a little bit more length on the top of the neck. This could have a little bit more. But interestingly enough, when she was being ridden, you didn't notice that at all. So that part of her conformation isn't going to make a big bit of difference. And I tell you, and I don't know, Debbie, if you agree with this, but I would rather have a horse with the neck a little short than one that's too long.
Yeah, long necks are definitely can be quite tricky to especially as you move up the levels.
Yeah, you're always feeling like you're reeling them in.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so easy. Okay, so can you just put your head, I know it's exhausting work here. Okay, she has 3 nice fingers here too, as well. in the throat latch, so that's going to be no problem. Can I touch the top of your head? Good girl. She's nice and flat as well. Now her shoulder is the perfect example. She has, this one must have a little bit of Arabian or thoroughbred more in the back than this one. I think this is a little more old style shoulder here. She's got this, it's a little shorter, a little more upright, but you can see a really good angle here. So again, very workable. And did we see how well she used her shoulders?
You want to show on the other side?
Yeah. So this shoulder is a little bit shorter, but this angle makes up for that, okay? And if I run my hand up here and put my hand, her shoulder comes a little more into the front of her withers than the other horse was exactly in the middle. So, you know, when we look at them standing, doing the bathing suit thing, we notice these little things, we write them down, but then when they move, that's like the talent part, okay, then it's like, oh, that doesn't really matter because she has a lovely shoulder, okay, when she moves, so it's no problem. She's a good rectangle, pretty much 3 equal pieces. So you look at the shoulder and the neck car forward, and look at the dining car, and then look at the caboose. All 3 pieces are pretty equal, all right? The older style horses were a lot more square.
Yeah.
And because the new horses are more rectangle, they're longer in the loin, and that loin is where all the elasticity is produced. So this piece right here behind the saddle is really, really, really important for the elasticity. So make sure you look at that loin connection when you're looking at a horse, because if that is really low or super, super long and weak, it's going to be very difficult, no matter how good the hind legs are, to take that energy and move it through the body into your hands, okay? She's very, very strong in her loin.
Yeah.
She's like I said, she's a big, strong mama.
Yeah, she is.
And I love the engine. She's very, very powerful. The one thing that we saw, remember we talked about the hind leg a bit?
Yeah.
I would say here, if I draw that line from the stifle down, she's about 3 inches more out behind than the black mare.
Yeah.
But lots of power, I think, coming from that girl. Okay, let's turn her sideways, and then we'll look at her legs. Okay, so you all see from the side this angle that I was talking about. Now she just stepped up, but she's like, I'm ticklish. Don't touch me. Yeah, really nice knees, good hocks, good big feet. Quite a nice girl.
Yes. Can I see this? Tomorrow, I think you should.
Often, and you have to pay attention to this, neither of these horses show this, but the way the hock connects into the hind cannon bone, I think a horse that's sickle-hocked, where the hind legs are at an angle underneath the horse, okay, so if the hock is here, the hind legs would come this way. I think everybody can see that, and that makes the horse visually look like they step under more, but it's a weak hind leg and that you're going to have hock problems. So you want to try to avoid anything that's sickle hock. But the way the hock and the cannon are attached, oftentimes it's a little bit not a straight line. This horse is so good because you can see this is just so straight, okay? This angle right here is really, really straight. So make sure you look for that connection too. If it's a little bit at a funny angle, we call it a Kirby hock.
Yeah.
That it's not a good connection either. So, okay, so tomorrow will be fun, huh?
Yeah.
We got to get this big engine.
We'll get the engine in
You going to
gear.
get it going?
We're going to get it going.
All right, excellent. Okay,
Thank
ladies,
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.